Hello and welcome, I'm Nathan42 and in this video I'm just going to talk about the mods that I've done already to my ANET A8 printer. So far it's come a very long way since how it was when I first got it. Obviously there was loads of different add-ons that you needed to add, the most important ones being the MOSFET, and well, for me personally I really like having the Raspberry Pi on there as well, just so that you don't have to keep putting a SD card in and out of the board. It really does, I think, make it a lot more efficient of a machine. Also, I mean, the other fairly obvious one was the Creozone sheet. That's a very useful sheet to have. And the bed leveling sensor is pretty good as well. I think it's better than having the leveling switch, because I noticed when I had the switch on that I had to recalibrate the Z-axis a lot more often than when I didn't have that on. So yeah, I mean, it saves time in that sense. I suppose if it's set correctly, you should never plant the bed, which is good, because that's really annoying when that happens. If not set correctly, obviously, as I have had before, it just goes through, or it tries to go straight through the bed, and that's not fun. And it can also put your whole machine out of whack. It can disalign the bar and all that kind of stuff. That's not fun to have to deal with, so yeah, try not to do that. I'll move on around the machine. So in here we do have the MOSFET, and I think that's about it actually. Yeah, the MOSFET is up in this cage at the top. The main board, there's a step down board as well in there, and there is a Raspberry Pi. They all connect together, and also with the wiring and everything is all in there, bunched up nicely, so the machine looks a lot neater than it actually is, and a lot less hacked together, I will say. The cages here are very useful for making it look like a very professional machine, and I would recommend them for anyone who wants to make the machine look very neat. So yeah, we've got the cable come out here, which goes down to the the E3D V6 hot end, which is this thing here. This hot end is very good. I really like the Bowden extruders. I think they're very useful. I purchased this part up here, which is just another clamp, which you can just, you know, I think it was like £6 or something like that, and then this was another £13 or something like that. So altogether it came to about £22 or something like that, but it really did improve the quality of the prints, I think, and it also made it a lot easier as well. So you can change the filaments a lot simpler than with the other method, which you had to undo the fan and the heatsink in order to get to the inner bits, which were always in the way if you wanted to refit new filaments. As from what I remember, it was a bit of a ball ache. We have the T up here, or the frame T. We have the bed leveling sensor, I've already said that. We have the wire chain, which is this part here. The wire chain is very useful actually. It's a very good piece of kit, and it does hold the wires nicely, and it stops them from potentially getting caught underneath the bed or in any other place. The bed was turned 90 degrees and the wires were soldered to the bed. Just so you know, that is potentially a very important upgrade to do, along with the MOSFET, because that is the other failure point, the other known failure point, which can cause a lot of issues later on down the line with this printer, and like fire hazards and stuff like that. Moving on, we have on the other side, the power supply has a switch and a plug to allow you to plug a standard kettle lead or a 3-prong cable into. There is a fan on the top of it, so it keeps the power supply cool. That is also really good. We also have an arm down here to hold the camera steady. It's not very steady, I'll have to say. It could definitely be a bit more steady, but it does work for what I need it to, so I can't really complain. It does record some pretty good time lapses. Moving this part backwards, we have a little frame mount down here, which does hold the frame up. Again, I don't really know if this one really did anything, but it does look pretty cool. And it was a nice one to print as well, like a good test for the machine, in which it printed it perfectly fine, so that's pretty good. There was this part here, which does have A8 on the front of it. It's a belt tensioner. So this actually helps you tension the belt underneath the bed, which is very useful because you want to make sure that most of these belts are pretty tense. They don't have to be perfectly tense, but they have to be quite tense. There is also, I'm coming to the end of it now, I did put these little pads underneath. They're still there. They don't really do much. Yeah, there we go. They are there. We do also have this V6 E3D carriage here, which holds that and also does have an arm on the side for the fan. The fan on the side is the standard one that came with the printer. It's very loud, and it does have a little valve underneath to shoot the air directly at the tip to help cooling for parts. I've not changed any of that actually. That's still the standard one that was always there, which is quite interesting. On the back of there as well is a little thing to help you tension the belt on that axis, sorry. And that is about it, really. I mean, that is quite a few things, I'm not gonna lie. I also did get this little blue thing here. I needed to be able to have the bed leveling sensor down here. Now, the bed leveling sensor didn't have a space to go on this frame here. So I kind of just printed another bit, put that onto that frame, and just bolted it onto this frame here. And, you know, it's working. It's working. I've Frankensteined it a little bit, but it does work perfectly fine. So that's always good. No matter what, how it looks, maybe it looks a little bit bad or whatever, but, you know, it works. So that's good. And that's what these printers are all about. These printers, the ANET A8 is all about hackability. It's a printer that you get if you want to tinker a bit. I didn't really care too much about tinkering at first when I got it, but it's there now. And it will be, it's a good way to learn a lot of stuff about 3D printing and all that. So I'd say it's a very good printer to have. Oh, there's one more that I just noticed. These bits. But yeah, these are the Z-Rod end bits. And what they do is they help keep the rod straight. Now, how straight they help keep the rod is probably debatable. It doesn't seem to have worked that well for these ones. But I don't really have too many issues when it comes to the Z-Rod and the actual print itself. So I don't think I have a problem with that. But anyway, let me know what you think about this video. Leave a like if you liked it. Leave a dislike if you didn't. Ding the bell and subscribe so you can get more of my content. And I will see you in the next video.